Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. If you're new, I'm Amanda. Welcome to the channel where we are all about shattering the mental health stigma. If you haven't already, make sure you make sweet, sweet love to that subscribe button so you're not missing any of these reactions, any of my vlogs about my mental health journey, or any of my celebrity interviews about their mental health journeys. Today's reaction is a request from my amazing Patreon, Justin. Thank you so much for your love and support and for believing in me. Guys, if you haven't had a chance already, make sure you check out my Patreon. Link is in the description below. Every single dime goes toward my mental health outreach. You get priority song requests, you get to jump on live streams with me, you get behind the scenes pictures and video, and personalized pictures from me, so much more. So make sure to check that out. Link is in the description. But today I'm going to be reacting to Drive by Incubus, and other than hearing some bands at more local shows say that Incubus was one of their inspirations, I don't think I've ever heard anything from them, but I guess that kind of gives me an idea of what kind of genre they are. But as far as I know, I've never heard anything by Incubus, so Drive by Incubus, let's go.
Sometimes I feel the fear of uncertainty stinging clear, and I can't help but ask myself how much I let the fear take the wheel and steer.
A lot. I let the fear take the wheel so much, and I feel like that was the greatest mistake of my life because I feel that fear is created from uncertainty, right? We don't know how things are going to turn out. We don't know whether or not everything's going to be okay by our own standards. So we get steeped in this fear, and the problem with that is fear prevents our neural network from making connections, from growing, from branching out. And the problem with that is at that point, you're stuck in this little box that you've created. You have no new experiences. You don't expand your beliefs or your thoughts or your possibility, your potential, nothing. You just stay stuck in this little box of what you already believe, what you already know, what you already are. So when people say, well, I am this way, well, yeah, because you're not doing anything to step outside of that box and grow. So I mean, I've had the uncertainty sting 1,000 times, but at some point you have to step through that fear, and take the wheel, as he's saying. This has a very 90s feel, which makes me very happy. I don't know when the song actually came out, but it feels very 90s to me. It has a really vague sense of familiarity, so maybe I heard it on the radio or something at some point. I don't know the lyrics or have any emotional connection to it, but I feel like I've heard it at some point because it does sound very vaguely familiar, but I'm enjoying it, so let's dive back in.
It's driven me before, and it seems to have a vague, haunting mass appeal. But lately, I'm beginning to find that I should be the one behind the wheel. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there with open arms and open eyes, yeah. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there. I'll be there.
So now this makes sense because the drawing is like he's drawing himself, he's creating himself, he's taking control again, and there is an appeal to following the pack, to, fitting in. But at some point, you kind of have to sacrifice the benefits of fitting in order to really be someone that's going to make you happy. Because who cares if you're making other people happy if you're miserable? Who cares if someone on Facebook is going to like your post or someone on Instagram is going to give you a heart if you are miserable in your own life? It doesn't matter if you have other people's approval if you can't live with yourself on a day-to-day basis. And that's not an easy choice. It's very much not, but I think that there's many circumstances where if we would just own our own beliefs and our own thoughts and our own experiences instead of letting other people dictate that for us, we'd start making a lot of progress. And I can't tell you, actually I can and I will tell you how amazing it was for me when I realized, you know what, I'm the one that needs to be behind the wheel and start taking control of my life and my mental health.
So if I decide to waver my chance to be one of the hive, will I choose water over wine and hold my own and drive? It's driven me before, and it seems to be the way that everyone else gets around. Lately, I'm beginning to find that when I drive myself, my life is found.
Much. I love this song so much, Justin. Thank you so much. This is so high energy, and maybe this is just because he's kind of cute, and it takes me back to the '90s, to the boyfriend I never had when I was in that super romantic era where everybody was making mixtapes and stuff. I've never gotten a mixtape, where people were dating each other like that, courting each other like that. I think it kind of takes me back either because he represents that or the music kind of has that era to it. But that in and of itself is just making me feel that nostalgia and owning that I like that, which is kind of interesting. But I like that it's, whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there. I'm going to accept whatever is going to happen. I'm going to be open to growing and learning and experiencing new things. And I think, especially nowadays with the way society is going, we blindly listen and follow and trust other people. And you should never do that. Don't blindly follow me. Don't blindly trust me. Don't blindly listen to what I have to say, but don't do that to any other authority figures either, because you have to look for yourself. You have to dig for yourself. You have to discover for yourself. You have to experience for yourself. And I like the, if I decide to waver my chance to be one of the hive, if I decide to step away from that mindset, like, is that the point where I get to move forward? If I hold my own and drive, is that the point where I get to move forward and I get, yes, the answer is yes. The water over wine reference, I mean, there could be a religious connotation to it, obviously. The Jesus turning water to wine representing the blood of Christ, but deeper than that, I think it's, would I choose purity over bloodshed? Would I choose positivity or would I choose negativity? How would I be on my own? What would it be like if I was on my own? And I know that I asked myself that when I was transitioning, and I will explain a bit more about my story. But when I was transitioning out of that, I'm going, but what does it even look like at this point? What does my own thoughts and my own life and living my own truth even look like? Would I just go off the rails and lose it and snap and just kill a bunch of people? Or would I be happy and positive and optimistic and be that person I genuinely wanted to be? But it does seem that that's how everyone else gets around, and that's hard because you want to fit in. You want to be like everyone else. It's in our blood that we tend to want to be part of the pack. We want to be accepted. But authenticity will also get you acceptance, and from more quality people that actually deserve it, people that you want to have in your circle.
Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there with open arms and open eyes, yeah. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Fall, have fun with it. Who cares, right? Who cares? Nobody cares if you fall sometimes. Everybody falls at some point. Ooh, that was so fun and energetic and nostalgic, and he was cute. So everything about that was just amazing. It was the high energy that I have been looking for. I do want to, talk about mental health on the channel and stuff, but that doesn't always have to be heavy. That doesn't always have to evoke a lot of the sadder emotions and emotions on that side of the spectrum. This one was very, very, very steeped in owning ourselves and finding ourselves and learning about ourselves and growing, which is an important part of mental health because if we're constantly living everyone else's story, we're going to be miserable. And I know this as promised. Let me talk a little bit about my experience that I wanted so bad to fit in. Because growing up, I was totally ostracized. I was never one of the popular kids. I never had a date, nothing. And that made me really, really crave to fit in and be part of that crowd and be part of that group and be accepted and be validated. So I spent a good chunk of my life trying to be what I thought they wanted me to be, or trying to subscribe to religion, or trying to subscribe to this political party, or this mindset, or this group, or that group. And I ended up so miserable and so confused, and I had no idea what I really believed because I'd been indoctrinated in so many different things that finally I just kind of had to start from scratch. And when it came to my mental health, I'd been told that this is what you have to do. If you're depressed or if you're experiencing these things, you go to a psychiatrist, you get on medications, that's your life. And that did not work for me. I tried, but that did not work for me. And I felt like nobody would listen. So when he's talking about, not wanting to be one of the hive, if he's to waver that chance to be part of something, where's that going to lead? It's scary, right? It's scary where that's going to lead, but you do have to take the wheel. And I love that analogy. I actually am thinking about letting my son do a reaction to this because I have a feeling this is going to be his new theme song, simply because he has OCS, that's obsessive compulsive symptoms, which is kind of the precursor for OCD, and he will dysregulate and lose control of his emotions and stuff. And I often tell him or I ask him who's driving the bus right now. You have to be in control of your bus. You have to be willing to take the wheel again. So this is crazy that that's what this song is all about, is taking control again. Because even if you have these disorders, even if you have the predisposition to anxiety or depression, you still have a lot of power. I'm living proof of that. You have a lot of power within yourself to be able to make positive changes to move in the right direction. Maybe that means medication, maybe it doesn't, but you have more power than you could possibly imagine to make decisions to move in the right direction, to change certain mindsets. It takes time. It's not easy. It can be ugly. You can feel crazy, but it's so, so, so worth it. And that's how I got decertified as having a serious mental illness. That's how I overcame my addiction and self-harm and stuff, is I finally had to get to a point where I said, okay, this is my life and I've got to take control of it again. I've got to take that wheel back. So I am going to introduce this to my son as soon as humanly possible, because I think sometimes sacrificing the benefits of fitting in really leads to a healthier, happier life. In With him, I remember him coming to me a couple weeks ago, and I'd made him a hummus sandwich for lunch, and he started getting really upset because he said that somebody had made fun of him the time I'd made it prior, and he didn't want that anymore. He didn't like that anymore. And I said, was it that you don't like it, or that you are just concerned that they're going to make fun of you? And he said, well, I can't like it now because I don't want to be made fun of. And I thought that this was a really good opportunity to talk to him about, you don't need to please other people. You can either choose to explain to them, why this is healthy and that you like it and it is different, maybe they should try it, or you can just say, you know what, I like it, and you don't need an explanation. But it's a really good opportunity to say we don't need to fit in to be a valuable person. I know that a lot of people think that you have to go buy all new clothes and backpacks and stuff for your kids right before school starts. And of course, I do get some new things for my son if he needs them. But I think that teaching them that they have to be what somebody else wants them to be or live up to somebody else's expectations is doing them a really great disservice, because the greatest minds and the most successful people are the ones that break out of the mold and that are considered the outcasts and the ones that didn't really fit in. So I think that's really amazing. But there was something that I was told the other night. We went to a 9/11 memorial, because there's a piece of the North Tower, I believe, here in over in Gilbert, Arizona. And we went to that, and I think it was the fire chief was talking. And he said, we need to honor the past, experience, love the present, and prepare for the future. And I think that that is a really good place to leave on, because it's not that we have to forget that the past exists. It's not that we have to ignore, the things that people have told us or their opinions. It's that we have to be here with us. We have to figure ourselves out, and we have to prepare accordingly for that. And that might mean confronting bullies or confronting people that are going to question us. And maybe that we prepare that for that through education. Maybe we prepare for that by building resiliency in ourselves to be able to handle those things. But I am so grateful that the song was recommended to me, because it's definitely going on my Raise the Vibes playlist. I'm going to introduce this to my son. Maybe I can make a reaction video of him listening to it, because I just think that it's going to be really good for him, for his symptoms, and for having kind of an anthem to get control of his bus, to not let the bus driver take over. So thank you so much. As always, make sure that you leave your mental health stories here in the comments below. That's how we shatter the stigma, is by talking about it. I am just, I have so much positive energy right now for this song. Share this video. You never know who might need to see it. And I will see you guys soon. I love you so much. Mwah!